This is Manuel Clemente. No, Manuel Clement. You're French, correct?
Manuel Clement, yeah.
Manuel Clement. And tell us a little bit about what you do down here.
When I'm down here, I like to explore sound, and I either compose pieces of music, songs and things, or sometimes I just get the sound going, as I say, and jam with whatever can make sound and see if there's some kind of resulting tones that I like, and I capture all this and I chop it up and make songs out of it. I got a computer right here, so Windows machine, Windows XP. There's a really cool sound card in there. That's something that's about 10 years old that never fails still. It's a German sound card called the Pulsar, and it just has DSPs on it. It's just awesome. So this is the software you can see on the screen here is that virtual studio that runs inside the sound card. There's things like a big mixer in there. It is pretty much my recording studio. I don't do that much sound generation on the computer. I like generating sound out of analog sources or whatever makes sound but outside of the computer, and so that the resulting tones are different. I'm really into kind of electronic symphonic music. So it would be things that in the 70s you would hear out of Vangelis, of Tangerine Dream and people like that. So when I make music, I actually do have symphonic arrangements behind these sounds, but I also respect the sound too much to dismiss anything else that could make sound. So
show us.
Things like this baby here.
We had one of these.
Yeah. Okay, so I got two of them. This one I picked up for $3 at the Goodwill. I like this as much as I like a $2,000 synthesizer. For the techie guys out there, it has 8 kilohertz sound, very, very low quality, 8-bit sampling, very, very low quality. It has a bunch of sounds built in, like.
So what you'll take pieces of this and put them with the other pieces that you create.
And when it's mixed out at the end, you'd never tell it comes out from a $3 toy. This is like considered like a drum machine sampler sequencer. It's kind of like the place where you'd be able to record little snippets of audio and then trigger them with these pads or trigger them from a keyboard. So things like you can record that and keep it on there. When I get something going that's a good start for a piece, I'll then track it into the computer, meaning I'll have audio tracks running on there, and then I'll do some slicing and mousing around for hours. You have these sounds that are sampled, meaning they're a little piece of audio that get recorded, like these were sampled sounds, okay? Beyond that, you have sounds that get generated in real time by circuit boards that actually create sound. We call these things oscillators. This is an old 30-year-old synthesizer. What you hear when I press the keys, very powerful. All this is actually sounds of the actual electrons flying through that circuit board. You can make crazy sounds with it. One note at a time. Right. But I'll trade anything in the world to get this great comfort for having just one note. It's great. I'll just layer multiple tracks if I want to hear multiple notes. It's like somebody singing. Can't sing multiple notes at one time.
No, you cannot.
You can be freaking amazing singing. So I think, expression doesn't come from the number of features. To me, the best applications in the world, the simplest ones that do one thing, two things really well.
Yes.
Not a million thing half-assed.
You ever play something and then you go, oh, I wish I would have recorded that. That was perfect.
Yeah. So what happens is, that's a trick. When you make music, you never know what's going to come out. That's true. And so a good practice is just record everything you do. You just press record, you forget that it's recording.
Right.
When you listen to the piece later, you might say, you know what? There's like 3 seconds here. That's freaking awesome. You grab that, you cut it, you save it out, and then maybe I'll throw it inside this drum machine and do something to it. So I broke the rule, and I just got myself kind of a newer baby right there. What you get out of the new ones is you get more voices at the same time, meaning that we call them polyphony, which is just the number of notes I can play. You can be able to store your sounds. This guy is the Poly Evolver keyboard, and it's made by Dave Smith. He invented MIDI 20 or 30 years ago, and one of the first programmable synthesizer back in the 70s. Futureproducers.com. The idea for it started about 10 years ago when I was making music and putting together a studio in France. My bedroom studio. And I actually had no idea what to get. I looked on the internet, and there was a couple of forums, but they were very elitist. As you say, you go in there, you ask a very simple question, and people kind of throw it in your face. That, how dare you come over here and ask me that? Well, I believe there's something else that needed to be done, so I made my own. Sorry.
Yeah, why don't you pop it up and take us through a little bit?
What this was made to do is help people communicate with each other. If they have questions, they come in there and ask people around. If they think that a piece of equipment is not that good or great, they can post a review on the site.
So you get a combination of like newbies and experienced musicians?
Yeah, I do. We have a special place called Getting Started, and you know, there's no harm to be done there. You just ask whatever you want.
Your site, Future Producers, will actually help me with my questions and getting started. And what else do you do on Future Producers?
People post great links that they have here. So for example, there's you click on the links here and you get thousands of links organized, you know, all in categories.
Right.
I post tutorials as well. So here I have working with projects on the Akai MPC 1000, which is that blue box you saw earlier with the pads on it.
You've designed and coded the entire site?
Yeah. And every year or two, I redo it from scratch.
Take us out with a song, Manuel.
This place here is where I have fun and just explore what makes me feel good.